Hello ladies and sister friends, welcome to Overcoming Narcissistic Relationships with Olivia. For those that don't know, my name is Olivia and I'm the coach of this group. So I am actually a narcissistic abuse recovery coach and relationship coach. I work with individuals one-on-one and I also work with couples. I believe that it's no coincidence that you're in this group at the moment and you've asked to be a part of it. I believe that you are meant to be brought here on some level, whether that be fate, whether it be God, the universe, divine intervention, whatever it is. I believe you've stumbled across this for a reason, and I'm so glad that you've decided to be a part of it. This group is for the woman that has survived a shitty, toxic, crappy relationship and is wanting more for herself. This group is for the woman that has had a soul-destroying relationship. She doesn't know where else to turn to. She doesn't know what to do, how to get herself out of this mess. She feels like a hot mess, and she just knows that she doesn't want to be doing this anymore. This group is for the woman that is wanting to hop on the journey of self-love, self-discovery, self-trust, self-compassion, and start filling her cup up again. This group is for the woman that's wanting to find her way back to herself, who wants to get back to basics and look at how she can redesign and recreate and rediscover those parts of herself that were oppressed or she wasn't allowed access to or had to say goodbye to keep the other person happy. And you know who I'm talking about.
The Narc.
This group is for the woman that wants to get her life back on track. To not only survive, but literally to thrive, figuratively and literally. I'm so happy that you're actually a part of this group because we have lots of different women in this group from lots of different stages and levels. So for example, we've got women all over the world in this support group, women that are either in relationship with narcissists, women that are getting over relationships with narcissists, getting divorced, separated, all that sort of stuff. Even women who work with narcissists are in this group. We all know that a breakup with a narcissist is not a normal breakup, and that is part of the reason why I've actually decided to create this group in the first place, as a means of providing somewhere to provide that extra bit of support that, you know, perhaps your friends are kind of getting over you talking about your ex, or perhaps your family's kind of had enough and don't really know what to say anymore. So this is that place for you where you can vent, you can put your stuff out there. You know, this is the safe place that you can enter into with other like-minded women. Now, there's always a reason why we have actually run across a narcissist and narcissist has come across our path. We've ended up dating them, marrying them, whatever it is. And you're probably aware on some level that you might be perhaps an empath or perhaps a bit codependent or perhaps have traits of both. If you've found this group, you're most likely going to be someone that's similar to me. You're a deep thinker, a deep feeler, caring, kind, nurturing. Which means that we can sometimes end up in relationships with people that perhaps don't deserve us in a lot of ways. So people that might have narcissistic traits, are toxic, selfish, have narcissistic personality disorder, and the list goes on. On some level, you're probably wondering, how has this happened to me? How did I wind up in a relationship like this? Or how have I wound up the way that I am right now? How have I attracted this person? How can I keep attracting these types of people? Why are more and more narcissists coming into my life? Or perhaps you've decided to be a part of this group to help someone that you care about or someone that means something to you. So you're learning, you're doing a bit of the legwork to kind of help them through this process. But whatever the reason is, this group is here to help you. It is here to support you. It is here to assist you, motivate you, understand you, and coach you through this process. When you go through a relationship like this, it is actually a really transformative experience, and it can sometimes put us on our path to becoming enlightened and awakened. Now, it's important to note that you might not have asked for this relationship. You probably haven't asked to be mistreated or abused in any way. However, it is your responsibility to heal yourself and recover from this. Everybody that comes out of a relationship with a narc, or actually is with a narc, usually feels stuck, feels trapped, feels like they've had enough and they can't do it anymore. Everybody gets to that point. However, do you want to be feeling like this forever? Do you want to be living in this suffering and living in this pain and this discomfort all the time? Of course not. Do you want your issues to remain unresolved? Do you want to be carrying this sort of stuff, aka baggage, into your future relationships and have it kind of sabotage or jeopardize those? Of course you don't, and this is why I've created this space. Humans typically want to move away from pain and more towards pleasure. And so when we come out of those sort of relationships, they've been very painful in a lot of ways, and we want to get out of those. We want to get away from the pain. Often we want to fix what's happened, and if we've got to a point where we can't fix it and we need to step out of that, this is that place for you. But in order to actually heal and recover ourselves, it's super, super important that we look at why we ended up in this relationship in the first place. why it was so hard to leave and why we're struggling to leave and why we're feeling this way after the breakup. It's really, really important, and I can't stress this point enough, that you do the internal work. You know, we're all here for a reason. We're all here to recover and heal ourselves, but the only way to do that is to actually move through that process and not around it. So it's really, 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 really important that you start looking internally and start being super honest, being super vulnerable, look at all these issues underlying. What can happen is that sometimes we feel like it's too painful. Sometimes we don't really want to look in the mirror and look at those things that have happened to us and why we've ended up like this. It can be painful, it can be uncomfortable, it can be humiliating, it can be embarrassing, all those low vibe emotions. But until we actually do that, we stay stuck and we don't actually get anywhere. And if you're not at that point yet, that's okay. There will come a time where you have had enough of feeling this way and then you're ready for the next step. And that is really important to know, because that's part of the process of healing. Because too often we can either run away from our problems, dig our head in the sand, sweep it under the carpet, whatever we're going to do to stay away from it. And that's called the fight or flight response, where we're fleeing from a situation that is triggering, you know, a scared feeling or a stressful trigger or something like that. That's fight or flight. But when you reach that point where you can't keep like running away all the time and you can't keep digging your head in the sand and you keep cycling through these toxic relationships over and over and over again, and you're like, what's this pattern about? What is happening here? And when you actually want to know the answers, that's when you can actually start to step up and fight for yourself and fight for your future. So you're probably wondering, what am I even going to get out of this group? You know, there's heaps of support groups online, and what sets this group apart? Number 1, how to identify a toxic, dysfunctional relationship, a dysfunctional, toxic man and his behaviors. Number 2, how to identify a narcissistic person or someone with narcissistic traits or narcissistic personality disorder. Number 3, how to identify toxic, manipulative, and controlling tactics that they use, such as love bombing, gaslighting, triangulation, hoovering, and a crap load more. There are literally over 50. Number 4, how to deal with and manage a narcissist or a toxic person or partner. Number 5, how to look for red flags. How to understand yourself more and understand where you fit on the scale of the self-continuum theory. Codependent versus narcissist, and what level do you sit on and why have you attracted someone else the same level? How to reach a healthy mindset from being either codependent, independent, but actually wanting to be interdependent and why that's important. Switching over to a growth mindset, an abundant mindset and not a scarcity mindset. Learning to identify the difference between a healthy and functional relationship. Learning how to detoxify your life and live a non-toxic lifestyle. How to break the pattern of toxic, narcissistic relationships that you keep cycling around and entering into and getting heartbroken from. How to actually stop that altogether and stop entering those relationships so they don't keep happening to you. How to break free from your current relationship that's toxic. How to get your power back, how to step into your power and how to step up for yourself and learn to self-advocate again. How to figure out your own standards, your own boundaries, and your own non-negotiables in a relationship. Learn how to teach others how to treat you better. How to connect to your intuition, listen to your intuition, get in touch with spirituality and your soul intelligence. How to rebuild and also redefine your self-worth and your self-respect and your self-confidence. Learn how to protect yourself and all the strategies that come along with that and communicate more effectively.
Learn how to be happy, single, and content being a single woman. Woohoo!
How to create the life that you actually want for yourself now and in the future. How to become a high quality woman. How to attract a high quality male. Celebrate your progress along your journey. The other thing that sets this group apart is that it's actually a really high vibe group. There's a lot of groups out there that can get a little bit divisive, a little bit over opinionated, a bit disrespectful, and then sometimes it actually becomes quite toxic, which is interesting because the whole thing we're trying to do is move away from toxicity. So this group is very much not about that. It is actually about being inclusive, judgment-free, confidential, being safe and supportive. I also offer a fun and fabulous Fridays here to keep the culture high vibe in this group. So on a Friday, I'll post something funny, something humorous, a bit of a joke, a bit of a meme, and I encourage all members to do the same because this is a heavy topic. And sometimes, like when we engage in the heaviness, it can make us feel even more heavy. And this is about keeping it a little bit light. So what I'm going to go through with you is actually the group agreements. Number 1, life coaching philosophy is that you're not broken and there's nothing wrong with you, but in actual fact, you're just a work in progress and you're on the brink of blossoming. As I said, this is a high vibe, female empowerment, girl power, sister support group. It is inspired by the belief that women can survive emotional abuse and all different types of abuse, thrive, and also help other women to do the same thing. This group is also here to help people become the best version of themselves, whatever that looks like for them. One of the beautiful things about this group that I've created is the beautiful members that are already in this group. There have been moments and times where someone's posted something and I haven't been able to get to them right away, and the beautiful members have actually jumped in with their own little words of advice, wisdoms, knowledge, expertise to help that person, and I just love that, and I'm so thankful to those members that have done that. Thank you. So what is this group not? So this group is not for people that want to play the victim forever. Of course, we reach a stage in our healing where we realize, oh my gosh, I have become a victim of this abuse. I didn't even realize that I was. I guess I am. And then once we can move out of that, better, happier days. This group is for women that are wanting the help, but are not wanting to stay in victimhood forever. This is not a place for drama, politics, disagreeing or starting fights or having any sort of conflict. This is no place for low vibe behavior or any mean girl comments. This is also not a group for people with narcissism. I better just state that now, but this is for survivors. This is people that have been targets and I guess victims to some degree. This is not for the person that's suffering from narcissistic personality disorder. This is also a place not for flying monkeys. If you come across one, please let me know and I'll remove them promptly from the group. Please don't join this group with the intention of pitching all of your products, all of your services, your books, your coaching programs and whatnot. I've actually grown this group organically, and all the beautiful members in this group have come to me or I've come to them in some way or another. And so this is a place that is not for sales. Please use this group as a resource. I have created this space intentionally for people that are wanting help, people that are wanting encouragement, people that are wanting empowerment and want to connect with like-minded women. So this space is for you. This is why I've created this. Feel free to share this group with people that you know. Feel free to send them invites to anybody that you think will benefit that's a female, such as a sister, a girlfriend, a mum, an auntie, a colleague, your coffee maker, whatever. Now, I do actually post a lot in here and so do the other group members. So if you're finding that it's a little bit too much, you don't have to remove yourself from the group. You can actually just put the notifications on mute and come back to them in your own time. As you know, I'm a coach. I coach women one-to-one and I also coach couples. So even though you're probably enjoying the content of this group and all that sort of stuff, if you're wanting something a little bit more personalized, something a little bit more individualized and a bit more attention and focus on your particular stuff, then feel free to reach out to me and we can set up an initial consult. As you can appreciate, I run a business. Even though I really want to help as many people as I possibly can, my time is valuable and I need to be spending that time with the people that are willing to pay for the help that they're really wanting to implement into their lives. And aside from that, this is also stuff that I can help people on the podcast with, and I can reach thousands of people hopefully. So if you're wanting somewhere that you just want to share your story, get things off your chest, use this group as that platform. But if you're actually wanting someone to help you move through stages and levels and things that are keeping you stuck and paralyzed and trapped, reach out to me. We can set something up and we can have a chat on how to do that for you. I should mention that if you want to have a chat to me about how to move yourself forward, this isn't just a chat with a girlfriend over the phone. This is actually a strategy and a discovery session. If you're curious about my own personal journey with narcissism and ex-relationships with narcissists, then please listen to my free podcast called Overcoming Narcissistic Relationships with Olivia. That's available on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. I'm super proud of this podcast because I've actually interviewed so many gorgeous, intelligent, smart, inspirational, empowering, encouraging women from all around the world. Like, it is a global job. And these women have taken the time out of their lives to share their love life lessons, the things that they've taken away from their relationships, things that they want to share with the world and their message. So please head on over, have a listen. It is full of gold nuggets and gems and diamonds and everything you can think of that will help you in some way. The beauty of a podcast episode is that you can listen to it as you're cleaning the house, when you're taking the dog for a walk, on your commute to work, whatnot, any time of the day. It's easy peasy, it's free, valuable information, so why wouldn't you have a listen? Also, I have an Instagram account which is full of pretty pictures and inspirational quotes and stories. I'm always on Instagram stories doing behind the scenes of my life and my business. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. If what I'm doing lights a fire in your belly and you're wanting to do the same thing, such as coaching, mentoring, teaching, and empowering and educating women in this particular niche, such as overcoming narcissistic relationships, let me know, because I do also do business coaching. I can help you set up your own business, teach you the models that you need to know in order to help other women with these issues. So far, I've spent $15,000 on my own personal and professional development in this particular area, so I know a thing or two about this. The important thing here is that you don't have to spend that kind of money to get what you need to know and learn in order to help other women in this particular area as well. And I should mention, it's only 15 grand so far. I've got more programs booked in, more personal development programs and stuff like that I'll be doing. So by another year or two, it's probably going to be something like double that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything that I can help you with. Reach out to me. I'm always here just to message away. Much love, much light, Olivia.